Bro, as long as I got what I wanted in, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was never planning on
man
being
said
in
it how it is.
Bro, I was never planning on being in the long run. Because I was here for a good time, not a long time.
Okay.
I was like, I wanted, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to experience what he was experiencing.
Okay.
Honestly, bro, being with girls is a way to like keep score.
Yeah.
For myself, is like, am I attractive to these people? Like measuring your confidence by a girl allowing you to have sex with her is stupid as fuck.
Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm sitting in this spot, which means I've got a great conversation lined up for you today. You know, on this channel, we love to talk about all things dating and relationships and seeing what we can do to attract the kind of person we want. So without further ado, please welcome my boy Charles to the show.
Yes, brother. Yes, bro. Which camera? Do I look at this one or do I?
No, you look at me, man.
I want to look at your
they get to
face.
look at you, but you look at me.
I want to look at the beautiful face.
Stop. You see, look
I'm
at this man,
intimidated
Charles
by you
the
already.
Charmer.
I'm intimidated by you already. I laugh. That's a very masculine, confident laugh that you have there.
Stop it, man.
So
look
good.
at this guy. See, that's why I brought him on, just to make me feel good. That's what it is, because
Stroke
Charmer.
your ego for a full 60 minutes.
So listen, man, I want to jump straight in. So first, tell us your age and one thing a girl should know about you before you take her on a date.
So I'm 30 years old.
Okay.
I think one thing a girl should know about me is I'm very spontaneous.
Okay.
I like to plan things, but I like to leave a bit of room for magic, is what I always tell everyone.
I like to leave a bit of room for
Yo,
magic.
you got to.
You've used that line before. That was too smooth.
100%. But if this goes viral, everybody's going to know.
If you hear that line out there, you're like, you stole my line. You stole my line.
Like, literally,
you stole my line.
I'm going to patent that phrase. Leave a bit of room for magic.
I love that, man. I love that. And do you feel like on a first date, how, in your experience, how open are girls to be spontaneous in that sense? Or do they feel like they just like it being planned?
See, I sussed that out beforehand.
Okay.
Personally, I ask a few questions because you can kind of ask a few open questions that will let you. It will let you kind of like know the personality type, because some people you can't do that with.
Very true.
Like if a girl's like, "So first date, what are we doing?" I'm like, "Calm down."
Yeah.
I'm like, relax. This
100.
is I'm taking a lead here.
Yes.
But just know that we're gonna have a good time. Is my vibe. So
I hear that. Have you ever had it when a girl has tried to essentially kind of take the lead for the first date? And how, like, do you like that? Is that like refreshing, or you kind of like, okay, like what kind of position are you trying to play here?
It's interesting because with me, I think I sit back and let them. I'm just like, because I'm like, does this mean that you don't think that I have the ability to lead you? And if so, I'm gonna just chill for a second. And then I always reflect on it, and then I pull them up on it later.
Okay.
And I'm like, listen, I'm the kind of person that I'm very chilled. It's situational.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna lead you in the big things. But these small things, like where we go for dinner, listen, as long as you're fed, I'm fed. I'll pay for the bill. I don't care.
Yeah, I hear that. I think one thing that's great and really shows kind of you being very secure in yourself is that while you appreciate, you go, look, I appreciate that the position you like to be in is that leadership masculine position. But then if a woman plans something, you don't feel intimidated by that. No. You just go, you're like, yeah, it's cool. You can plan it because we can enjoy it, have a good time. But just so you know as well, I like to basically do things for you in that sense, you know?
Because I think sometimes women plan things because they haven't had the experience that a man should show them in the beginning. And that's why they get so, like, the reality is they're operating out of their masculine, feminine energy.
Yes.
Or masculine energy. And so they feel like, I want to avoid the disappointment that I've suffered in the past. Yeah. So I'm going to just preempt the situation by doing things. Yes. And I think my role is to take you out of that mindset. But in the beginning, I'm going to let you do the thing that you're used to. Yes. But I'm going to let you know that I'm aware of what you're doing so that it doesn't happen again.
Okay. Interesting. So when because that takes some serious like emotional intelligence and awareness to know that and then communicate that. No, real talk. Let's say it how it is. So when you've been with a woman who maybe she has been doing that, how do you say that to her? And does that help ease her? Like, if you continue dating her, does that help ease her, relax, and be like, okay, this is a guy who I know I can trust to kind of take care of things?
Facts. Yeah, I think understanding where it comes from, place of insecurity, right? I think is important. Like being able to let the girl know, in my experience at least, being able to let her know, like, I see where this comes from. You deserve the world. The person you was with was a loser and didn't give it to you. Right? I'm not saying that you got to do things for someone to show how much you care for them. Obviously, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But as a man, you should want your women to feel a certain way. And I'm like, if I'm with you and you tell me that like you like getting your nails done, but you don't like paying for it, babe, I got you. I'm gonna take care of it.
Okay.
Because I come from a vibe where my mom is like, don't date girls you can't afford.
Interesting.
And so for me, I don't ever want to feel like I can't afford anything. So so if you tell me, oh my gosh, this my ex-boyfriend never did this, I'm like, say less. Like my last relationship, I remember when I first met her, it was her birthday like 2 months later. And I was like, what do you want for your birthday? She was like, I want a Dyson Airwrap.
Damn.
Some things is like 500 pounds.
Yeah.
But I said, say less. And when it came for her birthday,
okay,
I got her the Dyson Airwrap.
Okay, man's got it like that, you know.
No, not even like that. It was just more like, I'm a man of my word. If I say it, I'm going to do it. You feel me?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. So what would you say? Because thing is, I think that sounds so like, that's golden source for a lot of women to hear that for sure. Facts. Right? Which is great. But obviously not every guy is in that position. Right? So some guys might be in their masculine and striving for that, but they may not have the financial capability to be doing these things. Right. So if you were one of those guys that you're not in that financial position, but you still who you are today, how would you then handle that? Especially like your mom said to you, like, don't date a girl you can't afford.
Well, first thing with that, let me just say, when she says that to me, she's like, if a girl has a certain lifestyle before she met you, don't expect her to downgrade because she's with you. I
agree, but then what I would then say to that is that if she wants you to play that leadership position and she sees the lifestyle you have, if she can't accept that, then she shouldn't date you.
100%. You shouldn't date her.
Is there nothing wrong with you trying?
No, I mean, listen, you can try, but understand that you're going to feel like one insecure mouth. You know what I'm saying? Can I swear on this?
I hear that. Yeah, go for it. Swear away,
like a mouth. You know what I mean? Because like, let's be real, bro. If a girl's going to gauchos with her girls all the time, that's a normal thing for her.
Very true.
And you're like, oh, babe, I can't afford that. That's unattractive.
Yes.
It's unattractive.
I don't disagree with you, but I think part of it depends on what she's looking for. If she's at a stage where she's looking for a provider because she wants to have a family, right? I agree.
Right.
But if she's like past that and she's just looking for a companion.
To settle down.
Yeah, but it's just like, if she's just looking for a companion, like she's not looking for a guy who provides, etc. If she's just looking for a companion, the money tends to matter less.
I don't think you know what the thing is? Maybe I take that as a reflection of a person's willingness to want to improve their lifestyle. Because maybe my ambitions, like, let's be real, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'm driven by material things.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. Like, I'm not comparative with that with my friends. Like, I'm not like, oh, what do you have versus what I have? Like, you have a lovely place. I would never come in and be like, shit, he has a nice house. I appreciate it. Yo, first of all, he's winning. That's a beautiful thing. It's inspirational. Seeing what you have here is a beautiful thing. I think that from a man perspective, you should want to be like, how I want to provide everything. You know what I mean? Like, I know what it feels like to be poor and not have anything. Like, I come from the hood of New York, and like we grew up in the projects, didn't see nothing, bro. Like, people get stabbed in the staircase type of shit.
Yeah.
And then for me to grow up and see my dad become who he is now, I see that it's possible.
Very true.
And so for me, it wasn't like I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
Yeah.
I just saw a person I was like, I want it.
Yes.
And I saw how bad he wanted it. So I don't think that there's any excuse for a man to feel like, you know what I mean, he has to like, oh, I can't. Like, don't ever tell me you can't do anything, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think whether you tell yourself you can or you can't, you're right.
Facts, bro. But
you're right.
You said about if a guy doesn't have the financial means, bro, it's being attentive to the small things. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she comes home, make dinner, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she wakes up in the morning, you know, walk her to the station.
Yes.
Don't just let her leave the house on her ones and you're in bed. That's weird, my guy.
Yeah.
Wake up with her, even if you don't got to be up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I agree. 100%.
Show the ambition type of shit.
Yeah, I agree. So speaking of which, what is it that you look for in a woman? Like, what is it about a woman that makes you go, this is somebody that I want to make that effort for?
Man, I think a person that's beautiful but doesn't act on it. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. What does that mean?
I think a person that, because you have a lot of girls these days that have pretty privilege.
Yes.
Right?
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? They think because they put a bit of makeup on heels and they got a nice figure that they entitled to your time. But a person that has all those things but downplays it, not in the self-deprecating way, but in it's obvious, but I'm not ever gonna like make anybody feel uncomfortable about it type of way.
Yes.
I love that, man. Like, be super chill, low key.
Yeah.
I think I look for someone that is nice to everybody. I purposely sometimes take girls to less pleasing places.
Yes.
To see how they interact with the surrounding.
Says a lot.
I do that a lot, bro.
100%.
Yo, where we gonna go? Yo, we're gonna go to that local Chinese spot down the road because I'm good with boss man. I want to see how you interact with him. Yeah. Are you gonna look at him like, or are you gonna be like, hey? When a girl meets somebody, like how are they? How open are they to starting that conversation?
Yes,
regardless of their social status and all that kind of stuff. Bro.
It's like, how generous are you with your energy?
Oh my gosh,
because it doesn't cost you anything,
bro. For me, like if I'm with you and I can like sit back and let you have the conversation with a person you just met, I'm like, that is so sexy.
That's so attractive, 100%. Because it's almost like, especially when you're looking for someone to be a partner of yours, to be a team player of yours, it's like they're demonstrating the skills that you're like, I want this on my team.
Got it.
Do you know what I mean? Because this person becomes a teammate.
My ex-girlfriend, that was one thing about her that, and listen, I'm cool with most of my exes, but with her in specific, and she was beautiful at that, bro. We drop her off at a room somewhere, I'll go away. I love the idea, like she can go away, get information, I go away, get information, we come back together. And we're like, yo, what did you learn about these people? She's like, babe, those people over there do this. I'm like, I love you so much.
100%. 100%.
I love that, man.
So kind of on that, you don't have to share anything you don't want to, of course. But when I first met you, which would have been last year at this point now, you know, you were with someone, you know, we had a brief chat then, etc. Now, man's a single Pringle out here, strong jawline, strong forearms. My guy is doing his business out here. Yeah. What's that journey been like for you coming back into the dating space?
Oh man.
He's like, where do I begin?
I think I'm not still recovering from my last relationship.
Yeah.
But it made me realize that seeking companionship is more important than seeking pleasure.
Say it again.
You know
Big
what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, I think a lot of times in your younger days, you know, we call it a whole phase, whatever it might be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just think, oh. But for me personally, though, like I always had this insecurity that I was never attractive. I don't think that I'm an attractive person.
No, you're an attractive guy. You got it.
I appreciate that. You know what I mean? But really and truly, like I think I definitely went through like a glow up phase, that type of vibe. So I was like the ugly dog. I had a big ass head. My mom was the biggest person to you know hurt my insecurity, whatever. Because she'd be like, Charles, you got such a big head and awkward voice. I'm like, Mom, shut up. Like, I come home from school and she'd be like, I'd be like, Mom, it's Charles. Like, what the fuck is wrong with your voice? And I was like, you know, I'm gonna go to the gym.
I'm going to the gym.
Literally, man, and then that changed everything. And then, so I think for me, honestly, bro, being with girls is a way to like keep score.
Yeah.
For myself, it's like, am I attractive to these people?
It's that validation.
Bro, and was now, not to speak anyway about myself, I've gotten that enough where I'm like, all right, I know who I am.
Yes.
And so now I'm not, like this was before, if a girl hit me up and be like, I'm free tonight. And I'd be like, where are you? Yeah. Now I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm at home. She's like, want me to come over? I'm like, nah, I'm going to just watch a film with my dog.
Yeah.
And I love that. For me, it's like, what do we... I heard this phrase once and it was like, it's not about what you're doing Saturday night. It's not about who you go to bed with for Saturday night. It's who you want to wake up with Sunday morning. And I'm like, when I wake up with somebody, I want that person, I want to want them there.
Yes.
Where sometimes you wake up and you're like, which one can you go?
Yeah.
So I'm seeking less pleasure and I'm seeking more companionship with people.
Yeah. Do you think, and I completely resonate with that, and is it like my own personal journey is when I was younger, I really didn't get that much attention from girls really. And then into my adulthood, and then, you know, you become, you know who you are, you work on yourself. And then it kind of, you know, as an adult, it's always kind of gone better for me in that sense, I guess, attention. Do you think that, because I feel like I had this kind of revelation at a point as well, where as a guy, you know, when you start being able to attract women, you do want to try everything. You do want to indulge and have this quote unquote hoe phase. And then hopefully you do get to that point where you're like, actually the companionship is actually what matters, especially if you're looking towards a future, right? Yeah. Do you think a guy has to go through that phase of being able to have different experiences with women, with different women, to then get to a point where he's like, okay, yeah, companionship is the thing? Or do you think a guy can get there without that experience? Because it's kind of the whole thing of like, people who have money say money isn't everything, right? But if you're struggling financially, money seems like everything. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So do you think guys have to go through that whole phase, or can they get there without without doing that?
Nah,
not saying I've been through the hoe phase.
Probably has.
Not saying I have.
Probably has. Look at this guy. What are you, 6 foot? What are you?
6'2"?
I hate you already. That's enough. I'm like barely. I'm not a short king. Yeah, I'm like 5'10".
Yeah,
like 5'11" with shoes on.
I get you.
But I'm not. But to answer your question, but yeah, this might sound a bit mean. I don't think some guys have that privilege of going through a whole phase.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like the reality is pretty privilege does exist. And I think a lot of people are limited. But I remember talking to one of my homies and he was like, it's a curse to be good looking. Because he was like, the problem with being good looking is you have too many options.
Yes.
And you become dissatisfied with the selection around you.
Yes.
So when you go somewhere and you're an attractive person, you know, whether that be your personality, your looks, your style, whatever it is, it opens up such a broad width of people that you can meet that you become, you're not content with anything.
Sure.
He's like, whereas people that are less attractive, again, rather that be personality, physicality, whatever, they have a limited pool to choose from, which means that they achieve happiness quicker.
Contentment quicker.
Exactly, right? And so I think that if you're one of the few that are fortunate or unfortunate to be deemed as better looking in societal standards, you're never going to be that happy, bro, because you're going to have homies and friends, and that's the number one thing I would tell everybody: fuck your friends, forget their opinion on your relationships. Let's stop asking our friends what they think about our person. Sure. That shit has ruined more relationships in my life than I could count.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, bro, because you think that your homies got your best interest, but really sometimes your homies is a bit... Really? They don't want you to really be as happy as you think.
Okay. Is it like, because if they're out in these streets, they want you to join them?
Exactly. It's like, bro, like when I was, like, I remember when I got a relationship, my boy, I'm not going to shout him out, but he probably wouldn't give a damn. I mean, his ex, he wouldn't care. But I remember when I got a relationship, he was like, oh, bro, I need my wingman back. Okay. You feel me? And then when I got out of it, she's like, yo, we gonna be running these streets. And then he ran to South Africa. And I'm like, well, you left me alone in these streets. Okay.
Bitch, you ditched me.
Where you at, bro?
What happened?
I miss you.
Yeah. Interesting. Like the whole thing of being good looking is a curse. I think for guys, if they're young and very attractive, like if a guy's like the very attractive guy in his class, like pre-21, I think that's a curse.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because you're so used to people giving you the benefit of the doubt, giving you more tolerance, etc., because you're so attractive, especially with women. Yeah. But then when you get into the real world, you know, as a man, like you can't coast on looks like women can. Like you actually have to have substance. The attributes. Yeah. Yeah. And you actually have to, like, you could be really good looking, but if you're really attractive, but you're 35 and you haven't really done anything with yourself, women are going to look at you sideways like, bro, what's going on there?
It's crazy because people shit on people like Andrew Tate, but my man speaks facts, bro.
He has some gold nuggets. I don't agree with everything.
I'm not gonna try to get canceled, but listen.
But he has some stuff that I think resonate with a lot of people, for sure.
Oh, listen, like,
let's be real.
The reality is this: what women really, I think, at least in my experience, is women want a guy with influence.
And status, sure.
And status, bro. Like I see it all the time. Like, you know, for me, even yesterday I was in the gym and I saw this girl on Thursday. On Thursday. What's today, Saturday?
Yeah.
Bro, my days be crazy. I saw her on Thursday and I was like, who is she? And then I saw her the next day at this gym and she sat next to me. And I was like, oh, what's your name? Told me, boom. She's like, who are you? I'm like, oh, you don't know who I am? Perfect. Awesome. But then like slowly she starts putting two and two together. She's like, my brother walks in. He's like, dad's filming. She's like, what is your dad filming for in this gym? And I'm like, did you see two men shirtless doing like a photo shoot? She's like, yeah. I'm like, that guy's my dad. The one I told her, she was like, that's your dad? And I'm like, oh, do you view me any differently now? Because once people see that you're a person that has influence, yes, it changes the dynamic. Because even if they at one point thought that they were the more valuable person in that relationship dynamic, now it's like the balance has shifted. And it's like, oh, he actually is.
There's something.
And instantly girls are like, I want to be associated with that.
Yeah. So in that sense, because obviously like, do you mind saying who your dad is?
I mean, yes and no, because I don't want people to think that I'm trying to get clout from that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay.
Let's just say he has like 8 million followers on social media. He's one of the biggest fitness
influencers on the planet, for sure. Yeah. Do you ever feel like, Do you ever feel reserved sharing that with a girl when you first meet her, especially if she's like in the fitness space, because you don't want her to attach herself to you for clout and potential influence because you want her to choose you for you, or do you not care?
It depends on how it comes up.
Okay.
Because I've had moments where I'm walking. I remember this one girl that I was dating for a while. Everywhere we go for like the first week, I got stopped in the street. And people were like, yo, I remember one time I hopped off the train and the train conductor was like, Charles Mance. And she was like, how the fuck does he know who you are? He's like, I've seen you on your dad's Instagram. And she's like, who's your dad? And I'm like, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just don't worry about it. Because for me, he's dad and my life is my life. But to these people, it's another like, ooh. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not the dude that's going to be talking like I feel like there's some famous kids, some kids of the famous parents that you have to say their last name in order for them to have some level of like popularity.
Sure.
Whereas for me, I'm not that person. Like, you don't have to mention who my parents are for me to stand on my own 2 feet.
Yeah, 100%. And you're doing your thing.
Exactly.
Like, you're doing your thing.
But when people find out, it definitely changes everything.
Right. So how do you, especially when, because if you're like in the influencer space, right? And it's like everybody's looking for attention, for clout, status, looking to climb. How does that affect you in terms of, would you date someone in this space? Does that make you more likely because maybe they get it? Or does that make you less likely because you're like, I want to know that you as a woman, you don't care about this. So when I tell you, it's not going to change how you see me.
Bro, have you written these questions down?
No, they're just coming to me on the fly.
My man is so good at this shit, bro. I'm like, how is he thinking about these questions?
Hey, listen, man. I like to listen well and then ask appropriately.
You're good at what you do, bro. I'm telling you right now. I'm just saying that to you. If I
He's charming me again, guys.
Flowers. Nah, my man's good at this shit. I'm like, where's the notepad, bro? You are good at this shit. Damn, it's like deep introspection.
Well, you're here, man. We got to poke that brain.
I love it. Nah, bro. I'll be real with you. I've done both.
Okay.
I've dated girls that are both into the content creation thing, but here's the problem. People always tell me, your mom has over 500K, your dad has 8 million. Why don't you have 100,000? That's the question I get asked all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah, that's so true.
And I tell you, it's because there's definitely a resentment that I feel towards everything.
Yes.
Because people, like, imagine being the kid that has grown up seeing somebody start from zero and accumulate one of the biggest social media followings of all time. I see that shit. I know, and that's probably what I do for a living, right? I'm a business consultant. I work with people. I specialize in influencer marketing.
Yes.
And so I know how this shit goes.
Yes.
And I've seen, like, when people think, oh, does he get paid from Instagram? I'm like, no. Instagram doesn't pay anybody anything.
Yes.
But imagine being on the inside of everything that everybody's just on the outside of.
Of course.
I see this shit. I see how the top level people operate. I see when celebrities like 50 Cent follows your parents and Snoop Dogg is DMing my dad and my Snoop Dogg was like, yo, I'm in, or 50 Cent's like, I'm over here. Next time hit me up. And I'm like, Snoop Dogg messaged you?
That's mad.
I remember the craziest shit, I'll tell you a story, was I had one of our homies come over to speak Spanish. And my dad wanted to get in touch with Real Madrid Football Club.
Damn.
And one of the most famous fucking footballers at Real Madrid, like, follows my dad. Right. So my little brother was like, Dad, DM him, see if he responds. My dad DM'd him and the guy was like, oh my gosh, Ulysses, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I think I said his name. Whatever. Whatever. And then my homie was there, but the guy responded in Spanish. And so my friend's with me. And I'm like, yo, I need you to, like, my dad needs you to translate this voice note. He's like, who is it from? I'm like, some footballer. He looks at it. He was like, yeah, I'm talking to this person right now. And I'm like, who is he? He's like, probably like top 5 in the world. Yeah. In this what he does. And I'm like, welcome to my life. Yeah. You know what 100%. I mean? Enjoy. And so I think for me, like, whenever I date someone, if they're really big into like social media and stuff, I tend to support it. Yes. But as soon as I get an inkling that they're trying to leech off of,
they're trying to use,
I'm just like, it's unattractive.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you know what I'm saying? How does that affect in terms of, because obviously a lot of people in the influencer space and fitness space especially are super attractive, right? Yeah. So when it comes to dating a woman in that space, is there a level of greater tolerance for maybe using your status for her to how hot she is, or does that literally not even come into play?
Depends on the bigger picture. Like if we talk in business and it's gonna help leverage and make us both more successful.
Yeah,
I'll open them doors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Because imagine being like, yo, I can get you exposure to millions of people like this if I want to, and I've done it for some people. Where I'm like, yo, let me bring you in and let's just boost this up quicker.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I already know strategically. Put you in positions to do this. Come with me to this event. You're gonna meet these people. You know what I'm
yeah, of course. Yeah, I know.
Just like come through, meet these people, and boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, you're off to the races.
Yeah.
Whereas it would have took you years to achieve that because you just don't know the right people.
Yeah, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Listen, your net worth is your network is your net worth for a reason, right?
Big facts. Yeah.
But again, it depends on the plan because I tend to date girls that don't care about social media that much anymore.
Yes.
Whereas before, like I was chasing them girls that have like, to be fair with you, it's because they were more motivated to do it than I was, and it was exhausting.
Okay.
I'll take out my phone for like 2 stories if I'm at dinner.
Yes.
But when a girl got the freaking backlight and this and that, and she's like, oh,
yeah, that's so true. Yeah, they got the backlight and everything.
I'm just
now.
like, shut up. Like, I get it. The camera eats first, but chill. I get it.
The king doesn't eat first. The camera eats first.
But
that's freaking hilarious.
We gotta wait till all the food comes. I'm like, I want these chicken wings now.
Yeah, that's so funny, man. I love that. Listen, I've kind of grilled you a little bit. Is there anything you want to bring to conversation? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to ask?
Nah, brother. I'm happy where this is going. But I do think that it's interesting because in your experience with like bringing obviously girls and guys on this podcast,
yep.
What has been like the thing that girls say that they wish guys would do more often that guys aren't doing?
That's a great question. I mean, the biggest one is commit.
Well, it's interesting because what do you think prevents guys from committing? I was with a dude yesterday. He's been with a girl for 4 years, and he's still not sure. For me, I'm like 4 years and you're not sure. Stop wasting that girl's time. You feel me?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. What stops a guy from committing? It could be because sometimes if his ego is in play, he might be thinking, I can do better, right? I think women play that game a lot, sometimes with guys. Right. But it can be he thinks he can do better. It can be, I mean, if we're talking 4 years, I think you're just keeping her there.
Facts.
But you're not choosing her.
Is it like,
do you know what I mean?
And I think this is the problem, right? A lot of dudes, at least in my experience, they're still craving that fun.
Yes.
And I'm like, there comes a point where like you're not 22 anymore. You're 30 years old, my guy.
Yeah, you're still chasing tail.
You know what I'm saying? Like at that point, it's pathetic.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where and tell me what your experience is like. It has been like when you're a young guy, getting women seems like the number one priority. Like a lot of things almost revolve around being able to get women. Like I want to start training at the gym because I want to be in good shape. Why? So I can pull more women. I want to get a good job so I can earn more money. Why? So I can get good women, right? And then I think if you're older and you're single, it's not that you lose, people still want connection. People still have their own needs. But I think if everything in your life is still centered around that, that's when it's kind of like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean?
But the thing is, I reflected on this last week.
Yeah.
Because I was like, the amount of money I spent on women, bro, my bank account hates
me. Bro.
The amount of money I've spent.
You know what? Yeah. It's funny because sometimes girls will be like, someone will be like, oh, why does a guy not want to date me? Just because he's not financially there yet. We can build together. And it's like, I know that sounds good, but if you still want me to take you on dates, that's still an investment I have to make.
Facts.
Like that's still an investment I have to make. And so it's like, well, if I'm not in a financial position to accommodate, to be the kind of man I want to in this relationship, isn't it better to leave you alone?
That's what my mom says. Don't date girls you can't afford.
Yeah, that's just as big facts.
It's like this one girl hit me up. She's like, oh, I'm going to be in Paris on the 21st. Come see me. I'm like, you said this so casually. Like, I was just like, you know what I mean? She was like, she just said this so casually.
My
like,
position?
I'm going to be in Paris on the 21st. Come see me. I'm like, okay. Like, I wish that I could, like, you know what I mean? And my stupid ass was like, bet. Like, I was like, I'm
that
there.
Ego was like, don't tell her no,
bro. I'm already like, I already
no.
planned. I was like, yo, I told my homies, like, all right, one of my guys got a car. I'm like, yo, bro, you want to drive with me up to Paris on the 21st for a party? He's like, just so you can go fuck a girl. I was like, no, we're gonna have a good time too.
Be a good wingman.
You know what I mean? I was like, I'll pay half your petrol.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Bro, when girls be like, I literally thought about this. Like, I remember there's times where, because the problem is, as a dude, we always think about the situation after the initial interaction. So we're like, yo, I'm hoping to get to this.
Sure.
Right? And so, but the reality is, girls control that shit, bro.
They do. Yo, women have the power with that.
Women have, listen, you girls out there that are naive as fuck because they think that by being nice to a dude, don't be fucking nice to guys, bro. Every girl that I'm with, don't be nice to any motherfucker, bro.
Why? Why
because
should they be
girls,
nice?
Bro, when girls are nice, they get taken advantage of. This is my personal.
Go for it.
Listen, I feel like, and I might cause some trouble right now. Listen, I feel like deep down, really powerful dudes want girl. Like the chase is definitely a thing.
Yes.
Like if I'm with you, don't let me touch you. Because like deep down, I'm a big fan of body language and stuff. If you let me put my hand on your shoulder and I leave it there for a bit longer than I probably should, that's an indication that, all right, let me see how far we can take this shit.
True.
Whereas when a girl's like, you don't fucking touch me, I'm like, ooh, I love that. I'm like, and you know what I mean?
Because it's like a reflection that she is inaccessible, and that's an attractive quality to have in a partner.
But then also what it means is that if I leave her alone, because the real thing is, can I leave you alone in a room full of wolves and you're still gonna thrive?
100%.
Right?
Big facts.
That's the thing. Like if I leave a girl alone in a room full of all my homies and I know they're all savages and you're all giggling, don't fucking do that. Like their jokes weren't that funny.
What are you laughing at his joke for?
You know what I'm saying? Like on some real shit, I'm like, be friendly, but don't be like,
But then obviously, to be fair, if they're your boys, they wouldn't do anything anyway.
Bro, it's like when I met your girl, right?
Yes.
She conducted herself, and I pay attention to these things. I didn't hug her, did I?
No.
Because I'm like that.
That's actually true.
I didn't hug her. Some other homie did. And I called them out on it.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't know her like that. Why are you hugging her for, bro? Because for me, it's respect. It's like, you're his girlfriend. Why am I touching you on that level? I don't know you like that.
Yeah, I just met you.
Shake my fucking hand. If you go in for a hug, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And don't be laughing. Like, I don't know you enough to be talking to you on that level. And I love the fact that she was friendly, but she wasn't giving it too much energy.
No, yeah, she's very much like that.
I love that shit. I'm like,
100.
Because that's a girl because when I walked away, I was like, she represents him well.
I appreciate. She's gonna watch this and she's gonna be like, "See, babe, I told you." I'm like,
no.
Right.
But
it's true though. But like, if I'm being honest, it's one of the things that I really appreciate about her, bro, because who you choose does represent you,
bro. You know the thing is, right? People don't understand that. Like, I guess it takes an observant person. Like, I pay attention to all those things. Like, I walked away and I genuinely thought about that. Because some other dude might be like, she was a bit stush. I'm like, nah, bro, she acted perfect.
Yeah,
because she represents him well.
Yes,
because ultimately, when I leave a situation, I want to know that my value is still going to be felt in that room through the person that I'm with.
Yes.
If I leave a situation, I'm like, yo, Charles's girl was a bit loose. She was talking to every dude here.
Yeah. Everyone's going to be looking at you like, man, he's a chump.
Bro, like, I've had girls that I'm hanging out with and they're like, yo, when you wasn't there, they were just talking to everybody. And I've had situations where you were like, yo, your girl was a bit standoffish. I'm like, as she should be. She don't know you motherfuckers. What the fuck she talking to you for, bro? You can't add no value to her life.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. So, okay, so how do you handle that? Okay, imagine you're with someone who's like in the space, right? And you go somewhere to network, like the events we met. It's a bunch of influencers, people do different things, contribute different values, right? How do you handle that? Engaging with people who could be good collaborators with while still maintaining that level of respect that I'm with someone.
I think in those moments it's situational. Okay. Because if you're an influencer, I hate that fucking term.
I know, literally. I need that.
Right. It's like, you're an influencer, fuck off. You know who you're influencing. But if you do that and that's your realm of work,
yes,
I'm fully understanding of that. If you're not that person, like I've had moments with girls, they not that at all. I bring them to an event and they suddenly turn into one. I'm like, that's not you. Don't act out of character because you're in this room.
Yeah.
That's when I get turned off.
Okay.
If this is who you were before you met me, I have to accept that part of you.
Exactly. If I'm choosing you, I'm accepting.
And this thing, I've had girls be like, you're that's controlling. I'm like, no. It's like, if you have a lot of friends before you met me, I'm going to your friends are your friends.
Yes.
Don't be bringing no new homies in the circle after me. That's when I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
I agree. So let me ask you on that. male and female friendships.
Oh, touchy subject.
What are we saying? Can guys and girls be just platonically friends? Is that something that can be the norm?
Okay.
Or do we have to have certain boundaries in place?
I have recently changed my stance on this.
Okay, what were you before?
I was no. I was
hell no, boy.
No. Whereas now, my caveat is, and I'm going to use the example of my best friend who's a female.
Okay.
One of my best friends is a female. Shout out to Alina. I met her before her boyfriend, right? So I was friends with her before her boyfriend. And her boyfriend came in the picture, boom, 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 boom. Me, again, being self-aware, I'm like, how would I want to feel if I was him? Because there's a guy that she's talking about a lot. Because at the time, me and her were hanging out a lot. Like, we trained together all the time.
Okay.
And I'm like, if I truly care about her and a respectful relationship, I'm going to do as much as I can to make him feel comfortable.
That's what a good friend does.
Bro.
100%.
And so I went out my way, probably more than I should have, to make him feel comfortable.
Yes.
To show him, I'm not a threat here.
Yes.
I love what you guys have.
Yes.
I want to love you too.
Yes.
And now it's to the point, bro, she comes over to my house, stays at my place with me. Right? She came to my family home and she's like, Charles, if your parents weren't there, I still would have stayed there.
Yes.
Owen told her, of course. Because I was like, and I'm not trying to bait out people's names or whatever, but still. But like, I was just like, he's welcome to come over. Don't know if he can stay because my parents don't know him that well.
Yes.
But he told her, like, babe, you and Charles need your friendship. Go. I wouldn't want to stay there.
Yes.
And likewise, if I need a place to crash, she's like, of course, come over.
Yeah.
I stayed at her house when he was on holiday with his boys. And I think the only way that works is because I show so much respect to him.
Yes.
When the guy friends of a girl acts as if the boyfriend doesn't exist, that's when shit goes wrong.
Oh, I completely agree. I completely agree. And it's funny, I have a female friend who's like a sister to me. Very we've been close since we were like 12, 13. Similar thing. If she comes, I have people over, she'll crash or whatever. We have that level of respect. Obviously, she's met my girlfriend, I've met her boyfriend, everything like that. And it's so true in terms of making an effort with their partner, right? Almost validates this as a friendship.
Facts. Because
you know what I mean?
Then I think the reality is, dude, like, I don't know about you, but I'm territorial as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come over here. I'm the one that's hunting and killing and providing shit for this girl. Why are you coming over here providing her with the laughs and this and this and that? And I had it before where I felt like the friends of my ex-girlfriend didn't respect me because we had a situation where we was away in like an area and he was there meeting her. And I got pissed off because I'm like, yo, he knows that I'm with you right now. She's like, yeah, he knows you're with me. He was like, he didn't ask to meet me. And she was like, no, but do you want to come to his car and meet him? I'm like, how does that look? I'm coming down. I'm
coming to your car to meet you.
Surely you should be like, I want to meet your boyfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
And that turned into a thing. And I'm like, am I overthinking this? I'm like, nah, he doesn't have any respect. If he's your best friend. And also I'm like, yo, you're talking to a dude that like, I can get really hood with this shit. You know what I'm saying? I can get to the point where I'm like, yo, fuck you, my guy. Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm like, let me try to be chilled. And I didn't try to take it that way. Because again, she was from a different culture than me and everything.
Yeah.
And so
how do you handle, because I think there are some girls that they have genuine male friendships, like you and your friend that you said.
Facts.
But then there are some girls who have guys who are in the friend zone.
They're just waiting.
And they're two different guys.
Yeah.
Right? Because one guy, like you said, is like, given the opportunity, he would take it.
Facts.
So how do you, now when you're in a relationship, it's both of your responsibility to protect the relationship. So how do you handle it if you've got a girlfriend and there's a guy who, for you, you're like, okay, I can clearly see that he's in the friend zone as opposed to being a friend. How do you handle that situation?
She gotta cut him off, my guy.
Word.
Facts.
Even if he was there before you?
Yeah, cut him off, bro.
Okay, interesting.
Because at any given moment, he's waiting for me to slip up. Because reality is this, and it comes back to what I said earlier about like talking to people about shit. You're going to confide in this homie eventually about something in our relationship. And when you do, he's just waiting for that slip. I always told you about that.
I always told you about Charles.
Yeah,
he doesn't have your best interest at heart.
He's controlling. He's that. Fuck out of here. I don't want some random dude.
So here's the thing. I hear that perspective.
Yeah.
But if she was with you and something happened there, is that not a reflection of her, not him?
Both. Because you're playing with fire. Because if everybody can see that he's definitely just in the friend zone, which means that he's waiting to get out of the friend zone.
Yeah.
Why do you need him around? Like, you have other friends. Go to the ones that are not in a friend zone.
Yes.
You feel me? Like, what are you getting from him that I can't give you? And the thing is, a lot of times when girls say like, he's my best friend, I'm like, is he your best friend or is he just waiting this long? Because I've waited years to sleep with a girl, bro.
Okay, we have to talk about that.
You know, I've waited years, bro. We played, we played a long game.
If you're loving this episode and these kinds of conversations, then I want to give you something. We recently launched the Kits Angels community. This is a sisterhood for women who are tired of what the dating scene has given them and are ready to take their love lives to the next level. It's a space for you as a woman to not be alone in your journey to love, where we learn, talk, and share our experiences as part of a strong sisterhood, with some leadership and guidance from yours truly, of course. Not to mention never before seen videos from me on how I've led dozens of women to meeting great men. And so as a thank you for watching this episode, I'm giving you a month's membership completely complimentary on me. Just click the Kits Angels link below, and when you join the group, message me the code phrase Angels Podcast and I will pay for your membership. Now back to the episode.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a second. Let me offer this perspective to you.
Please do.
If she was single and she still didn't choose him, why is she then going to choose him when she's with someone that she wants?
When she's single, she didn't choose him because she didn't have a reason to. She didn't have a reason to make it clear. She was just still like, whatever. Life is like, and it may have been like, if the moment presents itself in the right circumstance, she might go to that.
Yeah, but I think for girls, really, if they wanted to, they would.
No,
if it doesn't happen, it's because they don't want to.
Yeah, but I think it's like, when there's no need to choose, why make a choice? So she's like, well, nothing is propelling me to have to make this a clear-cut thing.
I see.
Whereas if you have a dude like me, that's like, yo, that's not gonna rock with me. You ain't gonna have homie coming up in my crib. He's just my friend. I'm like, clearly he has a thing for you. And I'm supposed to sit there looking at him. I'm like, get the fuck out of my house. What are you doing, bro? Why are we wasting this time for? I'm not the guy you can tell me about your crushes. Don't do that. Like, when you know when girls like, your celebrity what? I don't want to hear that shit. Who's your celebrity crush? Nobody. Move on. Next question.
You're my celebrity crush.
That's it, man.
Interesting. You know what? I respect that. For me personally, I find it really cute.
Really?
As in, when I say cute, as in, if a guy is really into my girl, which I'm like, well, if you're with a girl and you think she's great, other guys are gonna think she's great, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like, that's cute, man. Like, it's cute that you think that that's gonna go somewhere. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do think that, but I'm also like, but what's the need? It's like, I have there's a lot of girls that think there's a lot of girls that hit me up sometimes. And I'm like, so what? Would you be okay if I just kept them all there?
It's a good point.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, well, why are you entertaining it? It's like when a guy hits up a girl in the DMs, hey, how you doing? And she has a boyfriend and she says, sorry, I'm unavailable. Why respond in the first place? Because I'm trying to be nice. Why are you trying to be nice to him? What is like, don't even give the energy. If you generally don't care, you know what I'm saying? I think this is where a lot of girls get it messed up. The whole trying to be nice thing is being naive, my guy. Don't try to be nice.
How much of it, because I think, not that guys don't care about our reputation, we do, but I think men and women care about their reputation in different ways. Facts. I think as guys, we very much care that people see us as someone to be respected. Okay. And women care very much that she is somebody who is a kind, nice person. Right. So like, I think there's sometimes we can make a decision that, okay, this makes sense to us because this shows a level of respect. Right. Whereas for girls, it could be this makes sense for them because this still portrays me to be a nice individual. So I completely get where you're like, why even respond? But if this guy is, for example, if this guy is someone who is in her network or close to her network, her not responding, while that may be respectful to the relationship, can affect her reputation of, oh, this girl is like stuck up. This girl's not nice. Like, I messaged her and stuff, and I didn't even ask her out. I just said, hey, what's up? She didn't even have the decency to respond. And I think very much, not all guys are like this. Personally, I think it's just, down to maybe me and the kind of guys I tend to be around. We would rather be respected than not liked, than liked and not respected.
I like that.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you're liked and not respected, that means the people who like you and dislike you shit on you.
Facts. I think I'm definitely like you then.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't give a fuck about being, You said you'd rather be respected and not liked.
Yes.
Exactly.
Than liked and not respected, bro, if I had to choose.
I think it's interesting because there's a song that I love, Letters to My Ex.
Yeah.
Bars,
boy.
That's like a 7-minute song that have you rethinking all your past decisions.
Like reflecting on life.
Literally, why did I treat her that way?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's crazy because in that song, he talks about essentially like, not showing as much support, right, towards his ex. And then she's like, when I could do all these things that these guys are doing, why? Because I'm jealous and I don't like the idea of her getting attention from the other dudes. And listen, I think everything is situational.
Yeah.
Like if your girl has actively, made a point to say that she wants to pursue this realm of life or a profession or whatever, and there's people in that network that's reaching out to her that can help propel that.
Yes.
Support that, my guy. I'm not the guy that's like overly masculine and whatever. I'm like, I will happily be in the back of you, pushing you forward, introducing you more people.
Yes.
But as long as you make that clear that that's where you want to go in your life, don't be getting new energy out of nowhere and be like, oh, I think I want to. No, you think you want to pursue this, and so suddenly you're linking up with blah blah blah. Cool, but like let me suss them out too, though.
Yes,
because I think that I'm a decent judge of character. But like 100%, bro. Like if a girl is trying to pursue acting and she's linking up with other actors, and she has to kiss a dude because it's a part of the thing. I don't give a fuck. Have fun.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's situational. And I think the problem comes when you're blindsided by things.
Yes.
And you're like, that was not when I met you, I didn't know nothing about this.
Yes.
And now you're suddenly
doing
a model and you gotta like pose in lingerie. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that.
That's when it comes to thing. But what you said is true though. But how do you think about that? Like, you gotta be respected and not liked.
Yeah.
Then do you think, why do people respect you?
I like to think people respect me because they see me as someone who's competent.
Okay.
But, and anyone who knows me, people treat you how you allow them to treat you. So I'll be generous with my energy to someone.
Yeah.
But if you approach a line, you will know.
I can tell.
Do you know what I mean?
I can tell.
And I think because I would rather, because ultimately, especially when you say, I hate saying this, speak your truth. When you speak truth to reality, especially about your own life, people who resonate with that will become your tribe naturally.
Okay.
So then you don't need to seek validation anywhere else.
I respect that.
Because when we want people to like us, we want them to validate that we are accepted into the group. If I don't care to be accepted into this group, it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to speak truth to power, and the people who that resonate with me are going to be drawn to me, and I'm going to be drawn to them anyway.
But do you feel like that has sometimes alienated you from friendships that you could have developed because you were always speaking your truth?
For sure.
And sometimes like the idea of like, and this is what I'm learning, there's a balance to that, because I'm definitely like, my opinion is my opinion, and if you don't like it, fuck off.
Yep.
I'm 100% like that. But what I've learned now is, again, I love using that word, situational.
Yes.
It really is, like, because if that energy isn't needed, I'm not going to have to give it.
I completely agree. So one thing I definitely have learned, especially early on in my 20s, was that there are times where I don't need to say anything.
Exactly.
And I can just shut the fuck up.
100%.
And even if and I've been in environments, because I'm an actor primarily, right? So I've been in environments where I'm having a discussion with like my cast or something, and believe me, it's me against the entire room. Me against the entire room. And I don't mind it because I like these kind of conversations. But yeah, there are times where I'm like, okay, I don't have to volunteer my contribution. I don't have to contribute here. I can just be like, okay, cool. Like, I respect that. Cool. Do you know what I mean? Because the purpose of me being there isn't to have a discussion and debate ideas and perspectives. It's to create this art piece.
So you're looking at the bigger picture, and right? Yeah. It's interesting because like, where does that level of self-awareness come from?
I think if I'm being honest, I think I'm quite a reflective individual. Okay. And so there have been a couple of times where I was accepted for my talent, but because maybe they disagreed with some things I said, they weren't a fan of mine. Like, as in, or maybe rather than saying they weren't, like, a few people would be, I know I could go to, but the rest, it was kind of like, nah, they just didn't want to fuck with me because of my perspective on certain things. And so that kind of made me realize, okay, that's okay because they were never my people anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't have to contribute with certain things if I feel that's going to throw a spanner into the energy of the room. Does that make sense? Because I don't have to do that. Like I don't have to be the center of attention. I don't have to be the center of this conversation. So if people are having a discussion about now here's the thing, and maybe this is wrong. If you ask my opinion, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
You're gonna tell what you think.
Right. Like so if you ask my opinion, I'll tell you.
You're not gonna do it when it's unprovoked. And I think that
I had to learn that.
But thing is that right there is like it's situational awareness, it's self-awareness, and it's also being mutable, right? Being able to like mold to the room.
Yes.
Is so important.
Yeah, being able to adapt, man.
Oh my God. Adaptability is such a sexy trait.
Facts.
Because when you're a person that you can go, like one of the biggest compliments I always get is you have such a diverse group of friends. And I'm like, thank you.
Yes.
Because I worked hard on that skill. People think that, speaking comes naturally to you. I'm like, bro, I had a speech impediment until I was like 8 years old.
Wow.
I couldn't speak properly. Like I was in special education till 14 years old.
Okay.
I didn't like learning disabilities through the roof.
Yes.
And so I'm like, this is something I had to work on. So now I take confidence and I take pride in being able to be in these different rooms.
Yes.
And so I think, but the situational awareness is from childhood. Yeah. I had to know when I walk into a room who's going to present danger to me and who's not.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
And sometimes do you ever feel like being liked can be seen as a survival mechanism? Likability is a survival tactic, in my opinion.
I agree. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I wouldn't like to be liked, obviously, because human beings, we're social creatures, right? So we naturally have a desire to be part of a group.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying that I don't care about that. And I think this is why I'm saying about choosing your battles.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? You don't have to always do anything. But I think there's a balance.
Okay.
There's a balance between the desire to be liked and then the desire to still be respected. So like, for example, if you're talking about dating, we're talking about guys in the friend zone, right?
Yeah.
The reason they say nice guys finish last, the reason they finish last isn't because women don't like them. It's because women don't respect them as a potential mate.
When they see them against someone else that they do respect.
Sure. And this is why it's like, oh, why does he always go for the bad guys? Like, I'm so nice to her. It's like, women don't get turned on because you're nice. They get turned on because you're respected, because you're capable, because you're competent. You have
resources. You're resourceful.
Sure.
Like the best thing is when a girl says, I want to do this, and you're like, done.
Yes.
It's I can provide.
Yes, exactly. Now, that's not saying we don't want to be liked as people, of course. But I think when you have someone who is so far in the extreme that everything they do is to be liked, and when it's really obvious, I'll be honest, I think most people just really don't have respect for them.
Nah, I'm like, you're a pushover, my guy. Like,
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're not nice. You could be like, you're nice, but you're a pushover. Like, I'm not going to invite you.
It's not attractive, bro.
This is what I'm saying.
It's interesting because I think like you can be respected and be liked.
Of course.
But then also like when you cross a line, you know that shit's about to get real.
Yes.
Like I think I can, and it's interesting because you can sense that about a person. Like with you, like you can sense like there's like, don't cross a line with him by your energy.
It's so weird because like I'm generally quite a playful guy, but I get that a lot.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know why. Is that true, guys? You tell me.
100%. He has like, it's like these eyes. But it comes from a sense of confidence. And I think, but it's interesting because insecure guys would feel intimidated by you. But another person like myself, I'm not trying to say that I'm like an alpha. I'm not. I hate when people say they're alpha males. I've had somebody say this to me. I'm like, that is the truest sign that you're not one.
Exactly.
Is when you be like, I'm an alpha. I'm like, you're definitely a beta.
You're definitely not if you have to declare it.
Yo, bro, I feel like what they say, like confidence is silent, arrogance and ignorance is loud. I'm a big fan of like the most powerful in the room. The most powerful person in the room is probably the quietest. 100%. Right? And I think when I first met you, I was like, oh, this guy is so sure of himself, but he's not arrogant about it. And there's like,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, because it's true. Because you meet somebody, you're like, they know who they are. And I think women are intimidated by guys that know who they are because they like the idea of building. They like the idea of projects. Women love a guy. So with the nice guy, it's like, oh, he's cute, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we can like whatever. With the bad guy, it's a project.
Yes.
It's, ooh, what can I do to make him not bad?
Yes.
Or like, what can I do to like make him better?
Yes.
Whereas it's like, I'm good over here, bro. Like, I'm gonna do my thing. And I always tell girls, I'm like, I don't need you in my life. I tell girls all the time, I'm like, listen, you're not here to make my life better. You're here to enhance whatever I'm already doing.
Yes.
But if you were to leave, nothing stops for me.
Exactly.
So you can stay with me or you can get the fuck off. Either way, I value your presence for the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I want to take a shift. I need to talk about the long game you played with this girl. You said you were friends with her and you played the long game.
Oh, bro, yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Oh, bro, you just like, listen, I think, you just do like the little things where you're just like, hey, how's it going in your relationship?
Charles, see, this guy's too charming and he's dangerous.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. But listen,
dangerous.
like in a time in my life, I'm not going to say when it was.
Okay. Last month.
But this is, yeah. I think the reality is, yeah, I just was kind of like, I knew what I wanted. Or I think I knew what, and this is the thing, guys wait a long time to have sex with a girl. It's true, bro. Like,
yeah.
I was just kind of like, hey, I'm here. It's just, bro, it's when you drop the little messages once a month.
So so my question is, were you friends or was it just unexplored? Okay.
We were friends.
Okay.
And yeah, we were friends.
And she knew?
Yeah, bro. She knew I liked it, bro. Like, listen, like, I'm saying, bro, most girls, if they entertain a dude, will eventually drop their guard. Because the thing is, I don't think that girls are so driven by the physicality of a person than like the moment. Like, are they a good person? Like, that's why girls will often date less attractive guys, but guys won't really date less attractive women.
Very true.
Because we value different things. It's like, oh, their personality is amazing. So that's why sometimes you're like, if a guy hangs in there long enough, like if she's kept you around this long, there's a chance.
That's true. But then at that point though, wouldn't you always feel that you're her second choice because she never chose you first?
Bro, as long as I got what I wanted in, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was never planning on being in
how it is.
Bro, I was never planning on being in the long run. Because I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Okay.
I was like, I wanted to experience what he was experiencing.
Okay. God, hey, at least he's honest, man. At least he's honest. So after it happened, were you still dropping the golden nuggets?
Nah, I was done with that, bro.
Damn, Charles,
bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, listen, like, yeah, in that moment, that's what I said. Like, now I'm looking for companionship. Because in that moment, I think I was definitely like, bro, I was just like, I wanted to experience it. I was up for experiences, bro. I was like, I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, I had I had a list of girls that I was just like,
oh damn,
is it possible?
Ladies, you're hearing it here first.
Bro, listen,
right?
Every guy has a list. Every guy, I'm gonna just like I'm gonna just expose the truth. Every single guy has a roster.
I neither deny or confirm.
Every single guy has a roster. I'm not saying I do right now, but every guy has like and what it is, it's a couple girls that they know if they was to like link up with them, it just let's go on a date. It's gonna lead to what
it's gonna go there.
And and most time it's strictly like it's agreed upon between both people. Like, it's not gonna go further.
Sure.
Where it gets messed up is when you're leading a girl on and you're like, I love you.
Yes.
As long as you make it very clear, I don't want nothing long term.
Yes.
But it's one of those things where most guys have that. And I think now I'm like, I generally don't feel good doing that anymore. But yeah, when I was with that, I knew what I wanted. I just wanted to experience it because you just want to experience shit. You're like, that guy's cool. Because oftentimes it's a competition. It's like, yo, well, what made that guy get with this girl? And then we think if I can get with her, that suddenly levels me up. It's like getting a promotion at a job.
Yeah.
You're like, then I can never go back down this way.
Sure. Because you're like, if she's with him and then she gets with me, that says that I must be close to his level.
But now I realize that that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
That is all fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Bro, like measuring your confidence by a girl allowing you to have sex with her is stupid as fuck.
Yeah. And so many guys do it. And I'll be honest, when when I was younger, 100%. Like it's like, oh, who did you hook up with, or who have you slept with, or let me show you this guy. And it's so true, guys. That does give guys the confidence.
Like, I mean, let's be real. We still do it. I came in today and we told you some shit, but that's just it happens, right? Like guys speak and girls, like guys really speak about these things. I'm like, yo, listen. If you're a girl that has been with a lot of dudes in a specific area, be careful.
Yeah. If your name is coming up more than once,
bro, like this, that says more about you than it does with them.
And the thing is, I'm just gonna say it how it is.
Yeah.
I don't think girls realize that if you've been casual with a couple of guys and your name is coming up more than once, a guy who hears that about you immediately removes you from any serious contender.
And it's unfortunate because we're not going to slut shame anybody.
No, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're single, mingle. But it's one of those things where just be aware that if the proximity is tight, I'm a fan of proximity. Like you could be with 100 dudes and he has like the world on his wall. I don't know if they can see. If they all spread out, like one's in Russia, one's in Mongolia, one's in Brazil, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's called 100. Yeah, of course.
But if they're all in Nigeria, I don't know any specific places.
It's like,
in Nigeria.
we don't.
If they're all in that one area, and I know that I'm gonna go to the local watering hole and see somebody.
I think it's mainly, especially like you said, personally, I think it's if she's been casual with more than a couple of your friends, then that for a guy, it's like that's a big mountain to get over for her to be like potentially someone serious.
And it's so sad.
You know what I mean? It's not it's not the number of guys. There is a number that guys are like, that's a bit much.
Do you care about the body count? Is that a thing for you? Like if a girl's like, I've been with 20 dudes, it's like, red flag. It's like
I'm quite liberal with this, I'm being honest.
Beautiful.
I think well, I say that. It has to be, and I'm not saying what mine is, but it has to be less than half mine.
But do you ask that question?
No.
Okay, good. How would you even know?
You can tell.
Ooh, he's like house. Like, bro, you've been there with a girl this way. How did you learn that?
I think girls can tell when they look at a guy, because girls look at a guy and they'll be like, he's a fuck boy.
When do you think I lost my virginity? I bet you I'll surprise you with this number.
Okay, you said you had like kind of a speech impediment, disability up until teenage years. I suspect, and the thing is, you said about how your mum would joke with you when you were younger and stuff like that. Get that, standard. Okay. I suspect you came into your own after puberty.
Give me a number that you think.
I'm going to say 20.
Ooh, 23.
23?
That's when seven years ago.
Okay.
I was a late bloomer.
You were a late bloomer. What was the transition from 20 to 23?
Confidence. Bro, I remember the first girl I slept with. It's a song, Love Yours. No, wait, what is it with J. Cole, where he's describing his wet dreams. There we go.
Okay.
And in that song, he describes his first experience with sleeping with a girl and how like she's thinking that he's done it many times. That was me. Okay. At that point, I had a lot of followers on social media, like 10,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. And I remember being so confused. I was like, what's going on here? And then like after it was done, she's like, so you want to stay at mine and go another round? I was like, I gotta go home. I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, oh, what's happening here? And she was like,
so funny.
And then I remember she ended up becoming my girlfriend. So, I didn't just have like a one night stand. Like I ended up being with like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then when we broke up, I told her, at that point, she didn't believe me.
Wow.
She was like, you're saying that now to try to keep us together.
Oh,
I was like, it is what it is. But yo, you know who you are. My first ever girlfriend was my first actual.
I think that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's interesting though, because I think, saying all these things and girls and all this type of stuff, deep down, everybody wants the same thing, right? We just want to meet our person. Yeah. And I do think that the over-sexualized culture that we're in right now is a massive blocker to that.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a very big distraction to that.
It is.
So kind of on that, this is a common question a lot of women ask. So I'm going to ask you, give a male's perspective. When a guy sleeps with a girl, let's say they might have been messaging for a couple of weeks, they meet, go on 1 or 2 dates, they sleep together, and she feels his effort start to go down. He's not as attentive, he's not messaging as much. She feels like he's getting more distance. From your perspective, why do you think a reason or a couple of reasons, why do you think that might happen?
He was never into you to begin with. He wanted that one thing and you gave it to him. And unfortunately, what women don't realize is once you have sex with a guy, unless he's really into you, your value...
The power shifts.
Yeah, it's gone because now you gave the one thing you controlled in that relationship was the cookie, as Steve Harvey would say.
Yes.
Think like a man, right?
Yeah, very true.
Right, you control the cookie, and so once you give the cookie up, it's like, well, it's the ball's in his court. There's a book, The 48 Laws of Power, right? Robert Greene, he talks about no outshine the master. There's a lot of different things in that book. And I do believe in power dynamics, and you always have to be aware of who's in a position of power. And relationships are like that.
Yeah,
I think whenever guys sleep with a girl and they suddenly effort declines, it's because they got what they wanted. They only viewed you because if a guy really doesn't want to sleep with you, he won't do it at the first chance he gets.
If he does or if he doesn't.
If he views you in a long-term way,
yes,
he won't sleep with you the first chance he gets. At least for me, I don't.
Right.
If I genuinely think that you can be my girlfriend,
yes,
I'm not going to come. I'm not like go back to my house. No, we're not doing that.
Sure.
I'm going to like court you.
Yes.
And I think it comes back to the girls being way more bitchy. Bro.
Really?
Girls need to be a bit more like, no.
Right.
Girls like control that shit.
Right.
Like, dude, let the guy know, fuck no. Like this isn't gonna happen, bro. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think it just comes down to the girl. Like, unfortunately, girls are locks, guys are keys. Some guys have a master key.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean? That kind of shit. And it's just like, oh, you're a lock for a reason. Stay locked. You know what I'm saying? Because girls think by letting a guy sleep with them instantly, like he's gonna like her more. I'm gonna like you less.
Yeah.
A tiny bit.
Yeah. I think it's very much if, and what I tend to usually say, if she hasn't, because we have quote unquote post nut clarity, right?
Facts.
So if he isn't as emotionally invested in her, that's needed for him to go, I like this person. Once he has sex with her afterwards, he has that question of, did I actually like her or was I just attracted to her?
Bro, lust is real.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of times, we look at someone and you're like, they have all the physicality, the physical attributes that I like in a person.
Yes.
And when the physical and the mental and emotional and spiritual doesn't line up, we think it was just the physical. And that's why as a guy, we can sleep with many people and not give a damn.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like we don't value that as like a massive indication of, is she compatible for us as a partner?
Very
Which
true.
for women, they need the emotional and the spiritual shit to really like sync it together, right?
Yeah.
So I think whenever a guy shows less interest, it should be a sign to the girl of like, what did you do wrong? It depends.
Yeah. How did she date him? Because as a woman, you have the power in the beginning.
You teach people how to treat you.
Yes.
Right. And did you let me hit on the first day? Because most guys, if a guy hits on the first day, he's thinking you've done this many times before.
It's true. And she may not have, but that's what he's thinking.
Bro, and that's what I'm saying. Like and there's been a few rare occasions. One I think about. It did lead to a relationship. But I knew it was destined to failure.
Right. Why? Because you slept together on the first day?
No, just because I knew that like that was part of the reason. Okay. And because the more you it's almost like you sleeping with a person is like interesting. Now let me know more. And then you start to like this guy Jocko Willink, he talks about data points.
Yeah.
And he's like, when you're dating someone, you're just gathering data points.
Yes.
And so for me, I'm like, you let me sleep with you on first date, data point. You keep a diary of all of your past partners, massive data point. You talk about your exes with me a lot, data point. And eventually I'm like, I'm going to just turn away from here.
Yes.
But when a girl has a level of self-respect where they're like, yo, don't hug me, shake my hand. Oh, you think you're going to come upstairs? No, you're not. I'm not going to kiss you on the first date. I'm like, these are positive signals to me.
Yes.
So I think, when guys show less interest and then a girl's like, why did you? And I'm guilty of this shit. I've done it before and felt like a dickhead afterwards. Because I was never really in it. I was curious. And unfortunately, like if my curiosity was here and it was like at 10%, you allowed it to go to 100% too quickly.
Right.
And I figured out what I wanted to figure out. And now there's no mystery here.
Now there's no mystery,
I'm not saying you're not a deeper person, but it's like...
Yeah, that's the initial driver for guys.
Bro,
that's the initial driver for guys.
if you slept with a girl on the first date or the first time, have you ever felt, has that happened to you where you just suddenly just dropped your effort afterwards?
I would say my effort changed.
In what way?
So, well, did I meet her for the first time and we slept together the first time we met?
First time you met.
Yeah, I think it shifted in a sense of, like you said, like a data point.
Yeah.
And for me personally, this is just a preference. For me, if the first time we meet, you're sharing your body with me, that means you don't have the relationship to sex that I look for in a partner.
Whereas if you just wanted to smash, you wouldn't care. Right. That's the thing.
Do you know what I mean? So if it's like, if you don't have the relationship to sex and to sharing your body, the quality that I look for in a partner, right? Then for me, that's kind of a big, okay, this person isn't compatible for the kind of relationship that I want.
But does that have to be where you're in that mindset to want that, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Timing is important. Timing is important. So my effort shifted in a sense of, I didn't feel that I had to, I'm not a big texter anyway, but I didn't feel like I had to make as much of an effort of texting every hour. But then
did she let you aware? Did she make you aware of your lack of effort after that point?
Well, because the thing is, it's like, I wouldn't, it's very, I've only ever had like maybe once where I've only slept with someone once. Okay. So usually any person that I've been with intimately, it's like extended. Does that make sense? It's never just been a one-time thing.
You return to the scene of the crime.
You revisit the scene. Do you know what I mean? Especially because for me, like, and it took me to maybe like my mid-20s to get to this point in a sense of, even if I'm being like casual, we both know what it is, there's still a level of connection that's important for me. Because that just makes it better anyway. Yeah. So because it's always kind of carried on, my effort hasn't dropped off a cliff. Okay. Because usually if it's to the point that, okay, I'll be intimate with you and we had a great time, I'm probably interested in carrying that on.
But then is there a point at which you both kind of know it's not heading anywhere?
I think if you're both open, of course. Like I'm always honest in that sense, and I'm always like, look, this is where I'm at. If it's not for you, then let's go our separate ways.
I respect that. I've struggled with that a lot in the past.
Oh, really? What? Just saying that?
Yeah, man. I'm a bit.
But girls really appreciate it, man. It's hard to do.
Now it's hard, man. I struggle with like. I think I was a nice guy for a long time. You talk about the nice guy finished last. I was that dude in my.
We've all been that dude,
right? And now that I don't know, I don't want to label myself anything, but perception versus reality. I might be perceived as a bit of a whatever. I don't give a fuck. By the way, fuck you if you think I'm some type of way. I am who I am.
Exactly.
But I think that now I'm realizing just being upfront right away saves us both a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Because then you have a clear conscience of, look, I've been transparent with you. Yeah. So you can't make me the villain at this point. Yeah. Like you can't make me the bad guy if I've told you the truth from day one.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? It still happens. Yeah. Because feelings aren't always what sometimes we would consider rational. Someone might feel a type of way and it may not be how it actually happened.
Yeah, I feel bad for girls these days, man.
Why?
Because I think a lot of them generally want happiness. Like you have a few of these girls that just want to get fucked.
Yes,
and they're just true. Like, I don't care. But most girls want companionship.
I agree.
And most girls, unfortunately, are competing against such an unrealistic societal view.
Yes.
That they either think they have to be overly sexual, overly this, overly that. And let me just say this to every girl, because as a dude that loves his mother deeply, and I always look at girls, as much as I've been whatever in the past, I'm like, what if this is my sister?
Very true.
I take that perspective now a lot.
Very true.
I just want every girl to know that, be yourself. Don't ever feel like if you're changing any aspect of yourself to make yourself more, there's no such thing as being more attractive, in my opinion. You already are attractive. Yes. And the right person will be attracted to you.
They will see that.
Bro. 100%. And I think that's probably what I'm looking for in a girl right now. It's like, I want the person that's not outwardly trying to do anything extra. Yeah. She just is. Yes. And in that, I'm like, you're fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. It's just, like you said, someone who knows, a girl who knows herself.
Yeah, man.
And, she doesn't feel that she has to, especially use sexuality to get a guy's attention.
Bro, like, don't wear makeup. That's one thing about me. I hate that shit. Don't wear makeup. Every time I'm with a girl, I'm like, take your makeup off.
Let me see who you are.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, let me, like, if I like you with no makeup on, like, I remember there was a time where I was with a girl. I mashed her on Hinge. She was on one of the roses. I gave a rose to her. Crazy shit was actually, I matched with her 2 years prior. And we never linked up. And then we ended up linking up. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then, like, I had an idea of who she was going to be as a person. We ended up linking up the next day.
Right.
Because she calls me. Right. She's like, I want to talk to you before I link up with you.
Yeah.
And we ended up talking for 2 hours. We linked up. And when I met her, I'm like, yo, you wearing any makeup? She's like, no. I'm like, you're fucking gorgeous. I just looked at her and I was like,
yeah.
And then I'm like, yo, you're stunning.
Yeah.
And you are blah, 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 blah. But then again, you get data points and eventually you're like, oh, there's these issues that I can't deal with. But I think, man, I do feel bad for girls nowadays. And a lot of women have it very difficult and they have it very hard.
I think for many women, I think the cultural narrative encourages them to discard the power that they've used before that has always served what they want from men and relationships. And so that's why we have this channel, because it's like, how can you as a woman use your power to serve you and not discard it? Do you know what I mean?
Support your dude, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever, basic principles that I think girls could do, but unfortunately, you know, we have this world where women think that they don't have to do things. Listen, don't ever embarrass your guy in public. Basic shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, respect's important to him.
But some girls don't. I've been in situations with girls where they'll actively call their guy out in front of me. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, now you're giving everybody permission to disrespect him. Yeah. Type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's true. Listen, man, we could chat for another hour, but we're gonna wrap it here. We appreciate your energy. If people want to find you, where can they find you?
Instagram mainly, Charles_Mance. So MANCE. In the gym, mainly. Or running somewhere.
We love that, man. Well, bro, we appreciate you sharing.
But let me just also tell you, like, you're fucking dope at this, my guy. Like, I've been like, I can't lie. When you hit me up to do this, I was so honored deep down. Because I was like, when is he going to ask me to be on this thing? And just being here, what you created and of this platform that you created is absolutely amazing.
I appreciate it, man. Listen, as long as it helps people enjoy it, getting people on. And when I met you as well, I was like, bro, I need to get you on at some point anyway.
Thank you
so
here
much, we are.
Man.
So we'll get you back on again. We'll get you back. The ladies will be like, get this man on because he's telling us some real shit.
Yeah, part two.
We'll do it. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. And I will see you in the next episode. Peace.